Nailed it.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm Bob.
I'm Jake.
And this is
Nailed It, the podcast.
So, we got to talk about a couple movies that might have come out while we were off on our little summertime break.
Yeah.
I believe we have some content to talk about.
We do.
And that not the least of which, we'll start with the one that came out first. I don't know if anyone's watching the video, but I may have a certain
look at you
may have a
rocking the shirt
certain
and everything.
S shield on my chest right now. I'm, of course, a big Captain America guy, but when we swing DC when it comes to superheroes, I'm about the Boy Scouts because I like. Oh, that sounded weird. I'm not a Scoutmaster. I enjoy truth, justice, and the human way. I guess I don't know what they call it now. But Superman came out. James Gunn's Superman. I had a lot of hope going into this, which is kind of funny. That's ironic. That's what it is. Not ironic. On brand. I was ready for a good, bright superhero movie that wasn't dark, wasn't, this is how the world is. And I 100% we got that. Now, we'll probably spoil a couple things here, but it's been out for a month and a half. It's about to come out on home video in like 3 weeks. You can probably go ahead and just assume I'm going to assume you've all seen it. But I mean, overall first reaction is I loved it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I love the characterization, the writing, which I love from James Gunn. The man knows how to write and direct a movie with an ensemble cast like that, an eclectic cast, weird characters. And David Cornsweet was excellent as Superman. He didn't get a whole lot of screen time as Clark Kent, but his acting and just everything he did about it. There's a thing that goes with Superman movies where a thing Chris Reeves did in the first movie, where there's a scene where he's about to tell Lois who he is as Clark. He's about to tell her he's Superman, and he takes his glasses off and his posture straightens. All of a sudden, he's standing up 6'6", and he's Superman.
Yeah.
And then she does something, and I haven't seen it in a while.
Oh, it's where she goes to shoot him.
And then he realizes he can't tell her, and he puts his glasses back on, and his demeanor changes, and all of a sudden, he's a different guy. He's Clark Kent again.
Oh, what am I thinking of?
Chris Reeves did that so well. The physical change that Superman and Clark were different people.
Yeah.
And I loved Henry Cavill's Superman. I like Brandon Routh. I don't care what anybody says about Superman Returns. I think that it's such a spiritual successor to the Chris Reeves movies. There was a lot that was wrong with that movie, but he wasn't it.
Yeah.
He was good in that movie. But I haven't seen anybody get the Clark Kent Superman difference in live action since Chris Reeves. And the main time you see that, because again, you don't see a lot of Clark Kent in this movie. You see one scene in the Daily Planet where he's got the glasses and the goofy hair, and then he's Superman the rest of the movie, no matter what they call him.
Yeah.
No matter if he's in street clothes and they're calling him Clark because he's around his friends or whatever, it's Superman.
Yeah.
But he does an interview. It's in the trailers. Lois says, let me interview Superman instead of you getting all your interviews. It's a little unethical. And when he he shifts his seat and he starts speaking slightly different. He goes from talking to her as Clark to the first interview question. Suddenly he's Superman, and you see it.
Yeah.
It's so subtle, and oh man, it's just there's so much heart in that movie. But his performance and her as Lois, Rachel Brosnahan's performance as Lois is one of the better ones I've seen too. Everybody, Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor was a Lex we haven't seen for a long, long time. Just downright evil and jealous and power hungry, and man, everything just clicked with this movie. And I think that's exactly what they need. And I think everybody, I haven't talked to one person. I have a friend of mine, Brandon Reese. Shout out to Brandon Reese. Remember Emily's Toy Box, excellent songwriter in his own right. Brandon is hardcore Superman. Brandon is also hardcore Henry Cavill and Zack Snyder's Superman Justice League. And it was hard for him going in. I remember him talking to him when the trailers came out. He's like, I'll see it, but I don't know about this.
Yeah.
I got to speak to him this past Friday about it, and he apparently, I hadn't seen it. Somehow I missed it. He put up a 17-page dissertation on his Facebook of what he thought. He's very well spoken. He always does this. What he thought, but overall, he understands what this movie is and why it's for everyone else, and not necessarily it's not his Superman, but he understands why it's probably going to be everyone else's Superman.
Yeah,
and that's how I feel about it. This can be my Superman, but I'm not a child. Like for a young generation, this might be, because let's be honest with you, Man of Steel, as Brandon put it to me the other night, I never thought about it that way, was a like a sci-fi movie, this sci-fi kind of thriller action movie that happened to have Superman in it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a true Superman feel, but I was okay with it at the time because it updated it, modernized it. Like, yeah, you know what, the world is kind of dark right now, and this guy showed up in 2010 or whatever that was. This is exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't need that. I think we're how many years past it. I needed a bright Superman's supposed to be a bright beat. Batman's the dark one. Superman's the light one. That's their whole point. Superman is hope, and that's what this movie gave me. Like hope for a good movie and a good time. It was a perfect summer movie. Had all the right action beats. I don't want to get into the dog. Man, without Crypto, that movie doesn't work. Number one, he's like huge part of the plot. Like it wouldn't work without him, but it looked great. The CGI was great. Like James Gunn knows how to make non-human characters. Rocket Raccoon, Eagly from Peacemaker. I just saw a clip yesterday. I forgot about Cosmo in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, the telekinetic dog.
Yeah.
I forgot how much that dog's actually in that movie and how good it looks and how much the character works. Like the man knows how to do people and non-people. And I mean, I think everybody was.
Well, even King Shark is another one.
Yeah. Not even thinking about the Suicide Squad. Or if you've watched Creature Commandos, the animated thing they did to start the DCU.
Yeah.
That's full of weird non-human people, and although it's animated, it's brilliant. Like the man gets it, and I think they got their guy. And I mean, of course, we can't go without saying something about Nathan Fillion, Sky Gardner, because first of all, anything Nathan Fillion's in is just fun.
Yeah,
he's like him and Alan Tudyk. And Alan Tudyk was a voice in the damn movie. He was one of the row. He was number 4. Gary would be nice. Anyway, I just everything, the performances from everyone, even the smallest role was everything. But I think the standout character in that movie,
I know what you're gonna say,
was not Superman. It was not Lex.
I know what you're gonna say.
It was Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific.
Oh my God, such a performance. The guy was so subtle, like the sarcasm and the I'm goddamn Mr. Terrific. Like one of the most quotable things out of the movie. Like I loved it. I haven't had the chance to see. I don't have the time anymore to go see movies more than once until they come out. But I 100% when that movie hits, watching it at home, I will probably watch it a couple times a week. It comes out.
Yeah.
People they look at me like, when do you have time for that? I did that with Captain America: Brave New World, a movie that everybody wasn't real keen on, but I'm a Captain America guy. I enjoyed it.
I liked it.
When it hit Disney Plus, I watched it twice that week.
I liked Brave New World a lot
because that's the kind of thing I like to. You give it extra watches, and I think as much as I got out of Superman, I'm going to get so much more out of it when I watch it twice, 3 times, and so on.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things like we always do with movies if they were on TV, like TNT and stuff, which I don't have anymore. But, you know, the Marvel movies used to be on all the time. Or Man of Steel or Justice League.
Yep.
Well, that's staying on. Now I'm not doing anything. I'm going to watch for the 37th time. You just get so much more out of these movies, and if they're good to start. Sometimes you can find something I didn't like that the first time, but, you know, I was wrong. There is something good about this. But this movie, I can't see ever getting worse.
Oh, no.
What did you think?
Dude, so I've always liked Superman. Like, there's never been a point in time in my life, because, like, obviously I've grown up being a comic book nerd.
We don't have to call it that anymore. We're respected now.
Yeah.
I was a comic book nerd, and I wasn't allowed to talk about it. Well, maybe a little bit when you were younger, too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Thank God for Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvel Studios made it okay to like comic books again.
And so, like, I saw Superman Returns, and then I saw Man of Steel, and unfortunately saw Batman versus Superman.
I have my ups and downs. I think there's some really good stuff in that too, but it's not a great movie.
Saw Justice League, and so I was ready to see a new face of Superman.
Right.
Now,
if I may interject here for a second, I think part of that, and I don't know if you'll agree, maybe you will, is because we are becoming indoctrinated by these studios with movies that we're getting reboots of the same characters with different actors every 10 years.
Exactly.
You know, so we are automatically accustomed, there's just going to be a new guy in a couple of years. Oh, that movie didn't make any money. They're not going to keep that guy. It's time to move on.
Yeah.
So I don't think I was, let's say, ready for it, but I wasn't shocked that they announced they were doing a new Superman. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when I heard they were doing a new Superman, I was down. I was like, sweet, I'm ready to see a new Superman. And when I saw who they had playing him, I was a little iffy at first, for the sole reason of he wasn't jacked enough to me. Because my Superman, when I saw him, or like when I think of Superman, I think of like John Byrne Superman, jacked big dude, like could just punch through a wall and look just chiseled while doing it.
Right.
To me, that's Superman. Now, granted, in the original books, he didn't really look like that.
No, he had some broad shoulders, but they also weren't trying to make. There was no such thing as bodybuilding muscle men back then.
Yeah.
The big guys were just big guys that were strong. They weren't like defined or cut.
Right.
They were broad shouldered and tiny waisted usually because they worked out. But you didn't, usually hairy dudes. You ever watch some of those old movies? Or
Yeah.
real fucking hairy guys. Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Who is a fucking beast. But
But
yeah, I get you.
Like, and that's a great comparison. Like Henry Cavill, like he may be a slim, chiseled dude, but he still had some like muscle definition to him.
Look, I will still say, the scene in Justice League where they wake him up from being dead at his memorial site, when Justice League tries to bring him back, is one of the best depictions of Superman's powers put on screen, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
it shows that he is just better than everyone. And it's a scene that showcases Cavill in basically a pair of joggers and no shirt on, so you get this sense of how like what a build that
how
guy
powerful
had, how
he is,
Superman he is. Yeah, I get
so I was going into it iffy because I wasn't sure how this guy was gonna fare as Superman, but I was willing to give it a shot. And then like I was hearing all the great reviews, like obviously you were telling me all about it. And
I wasn't spoiling it.
No.
I was just telling how good it was. I'm not that guy.
And
I'll only spoil a month later.
And my brother was doing the same thing. He was hyping it up. And so Alex and I decided, we're going to go one night, and we went and saw it. And I was blown away. Like I was like, this is like comic book brought to life.
It's a gorgeous movie on top of that. Cinematography, the lighting choices, the effects. The fact that the movie opens up with the original Superman theme, the John Williams theme, that is James Gunn knowing exactly who his audience is and who he is and what he wanted to portray.
Yep.
That piece of music, especially for a guy my age, I just turned 49, folks. I'm almost a half a century old. Anyway, there are certain pieces of music over my life that just you only have to hear a little bit of it. The main theme from Superman's one, Star Wars,
Indiana
Jones. There's certain you just hear it and you're like, oh man, it takes you right to a place, a feeling. And
funny enough, all have been made by John Williams.
The man knows how to make Danny Elfman get in there with some Batman. Like anybody hears that beginning from Batman, I mean, that it was good enough that they got him to recreate that for the animated series. Like, they do a version of that.
They did.
So there's stuff that, I mean, we're talking about a lot of action heroes, but those movies stand the test of time partly because of the music.
Yeah.
And to pull that music from the 70s that was so iconic for Superman and drop it into this movie, fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Dude, there was a point in the movie where we were watching it, and I had the biggest ear-to-ear grin. It's when towards the end where he goes up and he spins with his heat vision,
takes out the Raptors. Which I saw a bunch of people online when Superman killed all those people. I'm like, no, they take pains to show that they're all on the ground trying to get up.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. This isn't death dealing Superman. Although, spoilers again. There's a scene in the movie where someone does die that I don't think any of us actually saw coming. The Russian roulette scene.
Oh, yes.
Like, I didn't really think that was going to happen.
Yeah.
It works as a narrative thing because it pushes the characters where they need to be. But, man, again, what an evil prick. It's so well acted. But, I agree. That's that whole scene is a hell of a scene. But that's like, they're Superman.
Yeah. And, like, even from Alex's point of view, who has never seen anything of Superman.
Right, not her jam.
She was in love with it. Like, and that's another thing, is like it appealed to both longtime fans like us and new fans.
Well, and that's, my wife is not she goes to all the movies. She's become, if we're going to use the comic book nerd thing, she's become one of those she always said it's because of me.
Yeah.
Our 30 years together, I turned her into that. I'm like, no, the content did. Because I could still be watching these movies alone or talking about them on a podcast, and she'd be like, oh, you're talking about your nerd stuff. She grew to enjoy the stuff, and she gives it the same look or the same, you know, birth that it gets, a widespread birth that it might not be good, but we'll give it a chance because we've already seen this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I appreciate this movie, and I've heard this on a dozen different podcasts that I've listened to a bunch of stuff reviewing this movie. I appreciate they started it in the middle of the story.
Yes,
Because
I liked that as well.
As I heard Kevin Smith say on Fat Man Beyond, someone told him years ago, a famous comic book creator, I can't remember who it was, that comic books are in 3 parts, 3 acts, just like a movie.
Yes.
The first act is the origin, and we don't need to see Superman's origin anymore. Everyone knows Superman's origin. The second act is where we are with our story, like our characters, what they're going through. And that's where you want a movie to be, because the third act is the ending. And comic books aren't supposed to end. They're supposed to be open-ended. If you end, then the character's over, the time's over.
Yeah.
So all comic book movies, as far as he's concerned, should just be the second act. But as he pointed out, and I agreed, they start out with a scroll telling us about how when metahumans came to Earth 3,000 years or so on, and it drops down at 30 minutes ago or 3 minutes ago, he lost his first flight, whatever it was, and then he hits the ice that we saw in the trailers. What an awesome way to get us up to speed, start us right in the action, and not have to spend the time, well, there's baby Clark coming to Earth, there's his parents finding him, here's him in school trying to keep his power, like none of that. And it from the beginning, it makes a perfect comic book movie.
Yeah.
I think it does. I think it's probably a perfect comic book movie. Maybe not the perfect, what we're used to in the superhero genre.
Yes.
There are movies I think that are better executed, but they're better executed because the payoff. Endgame would be one. Endgame is the GOAT when it comes to movies.
Oh, absolutely.
But they gave us 10 movies or whatever to pay that off.
Yeah.
And emotionally get attached to all these characters. And Superman does a similar thing without any of the lead up.
Yeah.
I think. So
No, I fully agree with you. That movie is exactly what I would say is exactly what comic book fans and new comic book fans want to see.
Right. I agree.
It's the pages come to life.
Yep. Oh, that's the perfect way to put it. I didn't even think of phrasing it that way. But yeah, that's what we want from a comic book movie anyway.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that for years. And there's a lot of talk about this movie about the accuracy, some of the looks. Like there was a ton of stuff about the trunks, him wearing trunks again. And I've never been against it or not. I don't care. It's fine. I mean, Superman can wear trunks. I knew Superman with red trunks on. It's fine. I saw the versions of him without. Also fine. It's fine. I guess superheroes wore trunks back in the day because it was kind of like how wrestlers dressed in the 30s or whatever, like when they were created. I get it. And they just kept with it all those years. But when I heard that they were considering not doing it, and David Cornsweet was the one that's like, we have to have the trunks because Superman would wear those because he doesn't want kids to be afraid of him. And kids would look at him and go, look at how he's dressed. He's not scary.
Yep.
And that, I was like, number one, this guy gets what he's doing. He understood the assignment.
Superman's purpose.
Yeah. And that made every argument that I hear on the internet, every crying baby in their mom's basement about him having trunks, null and void to me.
Yeah.
The guy who's playing the part and the guy who was writing and directing, creating this version, understood that. And that's, I mean, they just hit all the right buttons. There's some other, does the movie run a little long? Maybe. The scene where he's in the prison.
Yeah.
A lot of that is necessary for the plot, but it didn't necessarily have to be that whole scene of all those people. Like that could have been done in a prison on Earth and not in another.
Right.
Like they use that to set up some stuff they didn't need to go that deep with. Him turning himself in specifically to find crypto. That whole scene where he's like, I got to find the best chance to find the dog. And Lois is like, but he's just a dog. And he's like, yeah, but he's not even a good one. But he's probably scared and alone. So I have to find him. Like, that's Superman.
That's Superman.
Like, he's sitting there talking to her about this while his Justice Gang buddies are out fighting in the background because like, no, they got it. I got to work this out. Like, he's always less concerned with himself than anyone else. And I think that's the core of Superman. I mean, at the end of the day, Superman's a Jesus allegory. He is. He's a God figure.
Oh, yeah.
But if you take a figure that's powerful, that can do anything. Literally, we know from the years, they've nerfed him over years, but Superman can do everything and anything. If they needed him back in the day to do something, they just invented a power for him.
Yeah.
But he always had to be grounded. That's why his upbringing as Clark and his parents, the scenes with his parents on the farm. First of all, I more things I've heard, especially, again, I'm a big Kevin Smith Fat Man Beyond fan, and Kevin has some things to say about this movie that are awesome. So did Mark, actually, and Mark hates everything. But he pointed out that it's the first time in a Superman movie that Clark Kent's parents, the Kents, were sounded like Midwestern farmers.
Yeah.
And not people from the city that lived on a farm. They looked like they were living in a double wide. They
Yep.
had some cows outside. There's no giant barn anywhere. They sounded like people that live in Kansas.
Yep.
And I've never thought about that before.
Yeah, I never
That's
thought
never
of that
been
either.
something that dawned on me that didn't need to be. And it's right. That's exactly. And that guy, the gentleman, I can't think of the actor's name. I knew his face right away when I saw him in the previews. I'm like, I've seen that guy as a character actor in 100 things. He was so good as Pa Kent, as Jonathan Kent. And the discussion they have about what kind of person Clark is and how he's like, man, it's like,
Yeah.
It was just so well
Get you in
done.
the feels.
And the kids waving his flag.
Oh.
And then like the look of like he's not gonna get there, and then he's not the one to get there. They should the Justice Gang should. I can't believe I keep saying that.
Justice Gang,
so terrible. Or just like the scene at the end with Metamorpho, and he's like, "Oh, we're the Justice." Go, he ain't joining. You're not joining the Justice Gang. You call yourself the Justice Gang? That's so cool. He's like, he's in. Guy Gardner and his name, but. Yeah, there was so much good about that movie. Like I said, I can't wait to give it more of a rewatch.
Same.
Because I'm going to find so many other things I love about a movie I already love it. I can't say enough about it. I mean, if we're going to rate it, this is probably, we're talking like, out of 10, this is like a 9.8 for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost
I was just about to
movie.
say the same thing. It's like
almost a perfect movie. The couple little minor things that I had gripes with aren't enough to ruin it. They're just not enough to elevate to like a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Nothing is Captain America Winter Soldier. That's a perfect movie. Also, like Saving Private Ryan, kind of a perfect movie. I mean, I have a wide gamut of things at work. You wouldn't know. You probably never saw that. Anyway.
Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh, dude. You want to get real depressed but be blown away by an amazingly well-made, like, feels real and so well-acted movie. I mean, Spielberg makes everything he does is good, even the ones that aren't great. But that movie, there's a reason why people still talk about that movie all these years. That movie's 20 years old now.
Yeah.
It is amazing. You should really... If you have any interest in like good movies and World War II at all, or just like a war movie, man, that's the one you watch first.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Yeah, like I said, I could go on and on, but I mean, that's my rating. 9.8 is 100% out of 10.
That's a solid rating on that.
That's 9.8 S Shields out of 10. And then I guess that's how you feel about it as well?
Yeah, I could very much support that. I was going to say it like a 9.75 or a 9.8. Like, that's such a good rating because of how good of a comic book movie it is. And that was another thing. Like, a coworker and I had this discussion where we both said, this isn't just a superhero movie. This is a comic book movie.
Yes, and that's a distinction, I think, that they talk about comic book movie fatigue and all that, but that's different than anything else I think it's been out. We've seen superhero movies.
Yeah.
Superhero adaptations of comic books and real world things, but we've not seen a comic book movie in a long time.
Yeah.
That was good. That was an action. I mean, even going back to like X-Men or Blade, they're good superhero movies, and they're good. They grabbed the source material pretty well for what we were getting.
Yeah.
But they're not comic book movies. The last comic book movie when I got might have been Superman. The original Superman,
like Christopher Reeves,
like good comic book that's the pages come to life.
Yeah,
Batman '89 is great, but that's not what Batman was in '89.
You mean to tell me Batman and Robin is not a good comic book movie?
It's not even a good movie.
Or Batman Forever, two of the greatest Batman. Please, I can't even say it with a straight face.
Please stop. My point was, Tim Burton we're going to make this darker, gritty Batman, which Batman should be a gritty character.
Oh, absolutely.
Although ever since Tim Burton, every Batman is progressively like harder to see on the screen because it's so darkly lit. Yeah, but like I think that might be. I mean, somebody can argue the point with me. They think there's something I'm missing, but even with all the Marvel stuff, there's no that had that real world holy shit. I mean, Iron Man's a fantastic movie. It's still a great movie.
I would even consider that close to a comic movie,
but it's not. It's still very real world.
Yeah,
they took it seriously enough, even though it's a comic book movie. This movie doesn't take itself too seriously unless it needs to, which is what Guardians were like. But Guardians don't feel like comic book movies. They feel like Marvel space operas.
Yeah,
Marvel Star Wars is what I always said. When I saw the first Guardians, I'm like, James Gunn just made Marvel's like a modern version of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Bunch of characters we never heard of. Comic book guys knew who they were, but the public had no idea who they were. It's this spacefaring ragtag group gets together to stop the bad guys. That's exactly what Star Wars was, and nobody knew what that was.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. It's definitely the best comic book movie that's ever been made.
Absolutely.
And hopefully that's the track record we get with DCU stuff. I mean, they're not all going to be James Gunn joints. He's in charge, and he's going to let certain things. But I'm very excited for Supergirl.
Yes.
Just that scene of her in there gives me a feel. I read the books at the run that they're basing her movie on.
Okay.
Her being off-world, trying to just get away from everything and be normal because the Red Suns, like he says, drinking party and that whole thing. But
yeah.
I don't remember Lobo being in the story, and the fact they're pulling Lobo in and having Momoa play the guy he should have been playing way before.
Oh my God, yeah.
He should have always been Lobo. I have high hopes, and I think it's going to go really well. So that's next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we don't even have to average our scores. I guess we're a 9.8 on Superman.
Yeah.
Excellent movie. It's still in the theaters. You still got time. Go see it. It will be, I believe, August 29th. I heard it's coming to like rent and buy.
Yes,
I don't know when
saw that.
It'll hit HBO Max, 45 days later after you watch or something. I may actually buy that one. There might be one worth owning.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. So definitely see that. Our next obvious comic book movie. Next thing that came out, the big one, was Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Yeah.
So back on the Marvel side. I don't want to play the Marvel's back game because I don't actually believe that because I don't think they ever went anywhere. They can't all be Endgame. But they've had a spotty year. Brave New World made its money back. It made money, but it didn't do fantastic. That was a good. I didn't even mean that. Thunderbolts was probably the best movie they've put out in a long time, and it financially didn't make its money back.
Yeah,
I don't understand that. Amazing movie, but so everybody's like, "Well, Fantastic Four has to save Marvel." Side note: I don't think Fantastic Four is making its money that it needs to. It did some pretty serious declines the last 2 weeks at the box office.
Oh, really?
It blew up, made record numbers the first weekend, and it dropped off hard. So I think they're struggling, honestly, which is a shame because, as we're going to talk about, I'm going to let you take this one first. This movie's excellent.
Oh, my God, yeah. So, like, what have we had for Fantastic Four? We had the unreleased movie in the 70s.
Roger, 80s, 90s.
Was it 90s?
90s. Roger Corman, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I've seen clips of that. It used to scroll around. Back in the day, we had cons, and they had videotapes of things, bootleg videotapes. That was actually before your time. But a buddy of mine had one, and I actually had to watch some of that movie. And it is as bad as they say.
I have it on DVD. I'll make you a copy.
And you've seen it. But if that movie could get like some kind of like a remaster or some updated effects, it would be a very decent B movie.
Yeah.
Now it's just really and the story behind that is that the studio needed to make a movie to not lose the rights.
Yeah.
They had never intended to release that. The actors didn't know. No one doing the movie knew. Just the studio knew that was never being released. Huh. They just were doing that to keep from losing the rights back to Marvel.
Interesting.
So that's just a little side note. Anyway, go on.
So we had the unreleased movie, and then we've got the two from the early 2000s.
Chris Evans Fantastic Four.
Yeah, we had Chris Evans Fantastic Four. So first one, and then Rise of the Silver Surfer. Yep. Then we had the
Fan Four Stick.
Yeah, Fan Four Stick,
which is just a body horror movie that happens to have recognizable names in it because it's not. I've never finished it. The only reason I haven't is because I fell asleep in the last act, the third act, and I never went back to watch it since because I know I'm going to be disappointed. I didn't think it was terrible. Visually, it was cool. Michael B. Jordan's great in everything he does. He was a pretty good Johnny Storm for what they were doing with the story.
Yeah,
but it was too dark and too weird. It was not Fantastic Four.
So I saw it. This is actually a funny story. My first band, Shoes to Fill, we were recording our demo EP,
right?
And all of them except me worked at this movie theater in Palmyra, and they were gonna shoot. Like once all the movies were done, we were gonna go into the theater after hours and turn every one of those theaters into sound booths.
Well, you told me about this, yeah.
Yeah, and so I got there like stupid early for whatever reason. So there were still movies going on, and my drummer, he's like, well, go see a movie or something. And so I went in and watched Fan Four Stick.
Ooh.
And I walked out of it about like I was in there for maybe like 10 minutes, and I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my
it
life.
just was not great. So yeah, that was our gauge for Fantastic Four movies. The 2000s ones weren't bad movies.
I liked the 2000s
Yeah, I
ones.
enjoyed them. They were good for what we were getting, but since we've gone on an interconnected universe and like all these really well crafted and thought about stuff, they don't hold up as well. But they were good. They were fun. They were fun movies.
Yeah. So when they announced that they were doing a MCU Fantastic Four, and they had posted that like a production photo of the Thing,
right,
where they're like putting his head on or something, I was immediately sold because I was like, holy shit, this looks like the Thing. This looks like the comic book adaptation of the character. And like I was down for it. So then the trailer came out, and then I saw who else was in it. Then I started to get a little iffy again, because I have my feelings towards certain actors that are just put in everything because they're popular.
So you're talking about Pedro Pascal?
Yes. Well, not just him.
Except everything he's in is awesome.
Yes.
That's why they keep putting him in everything. But anyway, go on.
So I saw he was in it as Mr. Fantastic. I was like, okay, sure. Like, I get it. He's popular. He's in everything. Put him in the MCU. Cool. Then what's his face that's playing Johnny Storm? I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I'm blanking out now. The guy that was in Stranger Things.
Yeah. I call him the dude from Stranger Things.
What is his name? I can't.
Hold
anyway.
on. To the phone. Let me.
Yeah, I cannot remember his name now.
Fantastic Four.
He's the one I'm blanking on the most.
Joseph Quinn.
Joseph Quinn.
So I saw Joseph Quinn was in it. Then my hopes sank a little bit lower because I have a vendetta against Stranger Things, and I know
that's fine. My brain was processing how you could have vendetta against like one of the greatest Netflix shows ever made. Anyway, go on. That's not what we're here for.
And so it was another one of those, like, he was in something so popular and everyone went nuts for him, so we got to throw him in something else. Fine. I get it. It's cool. And so I was very interested to see how this was going to go. The trailer came out, and, that's where we hear the first version, or the voice of the Thing. So then I was a little iffy about his voice because, look at the cartoons.
We've been trained that the Thing's voice must be gravelly, quote unquote, because he's made of rock. And
because
so I can understand where that would come from.
Yeah, because you look at the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, or the what was it, the Marvel Power Hour,
the '90s stuff that they had. They had that long Fantastic Four run,
which
animated.
That show's great. I don't know if you ever gone back and watched that.
I watched
that show's great.
I watched it mostly when it was on. That the '90s animation doesn't do anything for me anymore, but the shows were great. Anyway, they're well written.
Yeah, so
and I was an FF fan growing up. Like, I read the books. And they were probably my second favorite behind X-Men. So I knew the books.
So
especially the Byrne run. Man, John Byrne did some good stuff.
So I was hyped to see how this went because I was seeing the costumes. I was seeing the way the Thing looked. And I got super excited when I saw Herbie was in it. Right. Such a minor character, but I was so excited to see Herbie.
He's so reviled by the fan base because of he was thrown into the animation in the 70s because they couldn't show someone on fire. So Johnny was written out of the show. They needed a fourth.
Yep.
So people were just like, we don't like Herbie. And they had him in the comics for a while, and he shows up as a background character from time to time just because he always has. But to make him such an integral part of this was cool.
Yeah. So then they announced Galactus. And, oh, my God, we finally got a Galactus that's not a giant cloud.
Yep. And giant fucking gas cloud.
Yeah, we got, the giant planet-eating god.
Yep. That he is. Primal cosmic force of nature.
Yeah.
Yep.
In all his pink and purple glory.
Oh, and so I don't know that actor's name, but my God, he was perfect for that. I didn't recognize him or anything. He's been in quite a few things, but I did not recognize him.
Ralph Ineson?
Yep, that's it. But he was so good. And I saw some set photos. He was on set in a practical suit.
Yeah, I saw that.
Some of the scenes, he was literally dressed as Galactus. It wasn't all CGI or him on a blue screen. Like, that's kind of, well, I mean, he was always on a blue screen, obviously, because he was
right.
But That was him acting, like, and the voice and everything. Anyway, keep jumping in your review here.
No, you're good.
It's what we do.
So like everything leading up to this, aside from my 2 gripes about Pascal and Quinn, I was excited. And then when it came time and you and I and Jen were going to go see it, I loved from the get-go that, again, just like Superman, we don't really start at an origin story.
Nope, they give us the montage version of what happened to them and what they've been doing for, and it gives us a 4-year span. They've been Fantastic Four for 4 years. No one picked up on that joke apparently. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, it gave us, we were not in the middle of the story, but technically we were in the second act.
Yeah,
The beginning was the origin, and we skimmed it. We got the Marvel movie version of previously on a Fantastic Four.
yeah.
And that's cool. That gave us what was that, 10 minutes of stuff, and then we're into the movie.
I even liked that the TV show host, he even says, "We all know the story."
Right. And yeah, they and that's like the first line of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
Like, they more or less, that's they understood their audience.
Yeah.
They set it up. Yep.
So, from the get-go, and we were seeing then all the references, Mole Man, Puppet Master.
Mole Man was played so excellently.
He really was.
So good.
Dude, when they referenced Puppet Master, I lost it, because I always loved the Puppet Master because of the 80s Incredible Hulk cartoon, where the Puppet Master is the villain, and he's got all the statues and everything. Because that cartoon, I could talk for hours on that cartoon. The one that
was back in, half of it was Spider-Man and Amazing Friends, the other half was Incredible Hulk.
Yes.
Stan Lee did all the narration. I love those shows.
So, and the reference to issue 1, the cover of issue 1.
Yep.
I loved that they're staying true to the comic book fans.
Yep.
And remember what I said when we were going in? I said, I hope they make a reference to the cartoon. And what was it? 5 minutes into the movie, there's a reference to the cartoon.
Yep.
They played to the fans that knew they knew what the fans wanted.
And they were smart about it. So smart about it. They didn't. It wasn't just pandering. It was respectful.
Yes. And so 10 minutes in, I'm hooked. I'm ready. I was like, this is perfect. And, we learn about Sue becoming pregnant with Franklin, and just watching that whole process, and, Reed, baby proofing the whole city.
The whole world. I like how they name dropped the Diablo and some other villains in that scene. Like they hit all the famous Fantastic Four. Even the scene in the UN early on when they're talking about Sue starting the Future Foundation.
Yeah.
And they handle at various seats and they're empty.
Yeah.
Like, they even give you that reference to Doom's country in a Fantastic Four movie, because it has to be touched on.
Yeah.
Even though they're planning all these big things for Dr. Doom, he should technically started there.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, so like all the references that are appealing to the comic book fans, and then the story itself then with oh Lord, I'm forgetting her name.
Which character?
Silver Surfer.
Oh, Shala Ball.
Shala Ball, yeah. So like once we are introduced to Shala Ball, and she comes in basically marking the planet for death,
heralding the coming of Galactus. That's her job.
Yeah. And it's, again, so like comic booky, to then, Human Torch chasing Shala Ball, and all the little nuances through the chase, him flying up to space to get her. Those little things are so, like, I'm trying to think of the right word. It's just so comforting, because it feels like a comic book.
Right.
And then, the meetings with Galactus and discovering his needs and his wants really gets you involved with the story. And it was just such a good flick.
Beautiful film.
Yeah.
The set design and the effects and the way the city looked.
I love
very
that
retro
it was
60s, but it had all this futuristic vibe to it. Galactus's ship his world ship was just kind of what I thought that should look like, even though I had no idea. Looked like basically a factory.
Yeah.
Pumping out, crushing planets and feeding him, and the scene where they're trying to lose the surfer around the neutron star and stuff, the
Yep.
black hole, like all of that looked gorgeous. And while she's giving birth in space,
Yeah.
like all of that was so cool looking, so Fantastic Four. The sciencey stuff, the space stuff, the comic booky stuff, it was all there. Reed plotting like what they're going to do to get away from him. In the meantime, warning about his wife going into labor. And,
Yeah.
switching Herbie's eyes out to space later when they're
Yeah.
when they're getting ready to go to Galactus. Like all of that stuff is, man, just the touches. You're right.
The details.
They maybe weren't. It wasn't, as we just previously said. Superman was maybe the best comic book movie I ever had, like through and through.
Yeah.
But this was the most specific to a comic book movie I think we ever had.
Yeah.
Like this was very specific to all things Fantastic Four, which I think you remember when we walked out of the theater, I wasn't sure how I felt. There wasn't any big like Marvel. I mean, the battle scene at the end, so there was some big, but there wasn't any like the things you see. It was just the family, the whole shit. I think there's a total like take out the Fantastic Four, Galactus, and the Surfer.
Yeah.
There's like 2 other people have like more than 3 lines.
Yeah.
Like there's not a huge cast. And you saw it twice now, right? You went back.
No, I'm going tomorrow.
Oh, I thought okay. And I at first I was like, I don't know how I feel like this. It was, and the fact it was very self-contained.
Yeah.
It did not very barely touch into the other movies. Which at the end of Thunderbolts was a tag for them coming in. Everybody just assumed that's. Honestly, I think everybody assumed that Galactus was going to eat their world and they'd have to jump universes.
Yeah.
That's not what happened. And now I think about it, good, because the Fantastic Four was supposed to save their world.
Yeah.
That's what they do. I think it was nice that it was self-contained. I made out the point that the way they do it, even with the end credits scene, by the way, folks, Dr. Doom's in. You don't see his face. He's weirdly holding his mask while he's talking to Franklin. Why he would have his mask off, talking to the boy, I don't know. That's a whole Doom thing. Doom doesn't take his mask off. He's too vain. But that was number one. That was actually Robert Downey Jr. on set.
Oh, yeah?
In the suit. Yeah, the Russo brothers actually directed that, just like they did the Thunderbolts one. That's part of their movie of Doomsday. But they said that was 4 years later. So Franklin was almost 5 years old, or 5-ish years old.
Yeah.
They set themselves up by ending the movie that we did and doing that end credits tag that sets up for their involvement with Doomsday. They can have sequels to this movie that take place in that 4-year period that don't have to connect to anything that's going on in the MCU.
Yeah.
Like they may be forced to stay in this universe after Doomsday or Secret War, whatever happens, which they should. I was a little disappointed they weren't part of the mainline MCU. I thought we were going to get a weird retcon where that's what was happening in the 60s, and then they got lost at the end of the battle and nobody remembers it. That's what I thought that was kind of be a thing. Like the Fantastic Four and Doom were there.
Yeah.
And then whatever happened with Galactus wiped out any trace of them.
Yeah.
So nobody remembers that ever happened or something like that, because that's comic book. But that's not what happened. It was a self-contained movie with a self-contained plot that they set us up with Doctor Strange a couple years ago with the multiverse stuff, that we know there's incursions. You can go to other worlds. And Deadpool and Wolverine. We know there's all these variants. Loki. We know all this is possible. So that movie can sit on its own. And I'm glad it did, actually, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
After I had a couple days to think about it, and I thought, again, listen to a lot of different review podcasts, angles that I hadn't thought about. I love listening to stuff where guys who make movies talk about movies like that.
Yep.
And I think it was just exactly what their first MCU movie needed to be.
Yeah.
Everything about it was comic book. Everything was accurate. Fantastic Four accurate as much as you can make a real movie. The effects were perfect. Right down to Johnny's eyes were like yellow when the rest of them was red and fire. Like everything that would have been a comic book touch, that they colored him that way.
I even liked that they did the Thing's stone beard.
Oh, the beard, because he had to do his part and not shave his beard. Like, never thought of the fact that this thing should be able to grow a beard, but that's actually comic book accurate too.
Yeah, there was a point where he had a beard.
I mean, and the Thing. Back to your point, I agree. Amazing. He looked amazing, along with all the other effects. He looked like the Thing. I quickly got over the voice, the not gravelly voice. I was like, you know what? Actually, this emotes better. This sounds like a guy that sounds like Ben Grimm, who happens to be in a rock suit.
Yeah.
They gave him the little love interest, which is a big thing in Fantastic Four. That should have been Alicia and not Roxanne or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Although I read somewhere that they think that was a nod to Jack Kirby's wife.
Because I did appreciate the Jack Kirby reference.
Jack Kirby he put himself, Thing was him in the story. The Jewish guy in the story that, had a hard time. That was his way of, he said that in interviews that was my avatar in the story.
Yeah.
Was Ben Grimm. That's why he was Jewish. That's why there was all these things, because he was a Jew in New York, and in the 30s and 40s, so and up into the 60s. So I thought that was cool, but there was a drop in accuracy there, maybe a little bit, because that's not his. He ends up marrying Alicia Masters, which is the puppet master's daughter, or stepdaughter. I forgot what. Anyway,
I think it's
they have plenty of time to
yeah.
get to that if they want to. I think it was just a way to get what's her name in, the actress. I can't think of her name. I'm blanking out. She's in so many things.
To the phone.
She's in that show that Jen watches.
Oh, that's the wrong thing. Julia Garner?
No. That's
why
so
did you
keep going.
Natasha Lyonne?
Natasha Lyonne, yeah.
I love that that's the only person who didn't give me a photo. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Natasha Lyonne, yeah. She, like, we know from way back.
I didn't even realize that's who that was.
Yeah, she's in a ton of stuff. Not her first Marvel project either, actually.
Really?
She's a voice in What If, too.
I did not know that. I didn't watch What If.
Oh, it's great.
Which is really funny because I love the What If comics.
I loved it because as it got to the end of season 1, not to spoil too much, and got it all through season 2. Season 2 is like a consistent storyline through different what ifs.
Yeah.
Whereas the first one, the watchers you're connecting, and then a couple episodes that you get to the end that connects some of the characters for a big thing. It brings together a team, let's say, and that's how it's season 2. But heavily season 2 and a lot of season 1 is about Peggy Carter as Captain Carter, Super Soldier Peggy.
Yeah,
and I love that character. I love Haley Atwell. She does the voice, so it spoke to me. Some people didn't like it. I don't care what people like, but anyway, I'm diverging off to other Marvel things. But yeah, I mean, I think that whole subplot, just giving the thing, the kids see him, oh, they're gonna scare him with I'm gonna throw the car.
Yeah,
like, it humanized everything. I love how everyone loved them. I didn't like how quickly, like, they had to for time, pace the movie, but like the world just turned on them in like 30 seconds when they said they wouldn't give up Franklin to save the world.
Yeah,
when they're like, we won't do that, but we'll find another way, and everybody's like, oh, throw your kid in a well. Like, oh, you guys can go fuck yourselves, go up your kid.
Yeah,
like storming the Baxter building, like that seems like these people are like the world's heroes and brought you like into a new age of technology and Reed's brilliance, and they don't want to give up their only son, their baby son, and you're like, oh, well, fuck you, give up your kid anyway. We want to live. They said they'll work it out. It just, that seemed pushed to me. Maybe the only really weird thing for me in the movie. Like that could have been done a little differently.
Yeah, their feelings towards him does very quickly change.
Right.
No, like that movie again, like this is a summer of comic book movies.
Right, and I'm glad for that. I'm glad we were able to get that experience. I'm glad we had that experience together, actually.
Yeah.
We've done other comic book movies together, but this one was cool. I was hoping it would be as good as it was, and it was. And it was for reasons I wasn't expecting. It wasn't good for the reasons I was assuming it would be good for. You know what I mean? Like, I expected all these connections to the MCU, and then like because I live for that shit. I know people are tired of it's got to be connected, end credit tag, go nowhere, and all that. I live for that because comic books are connected. Crossovers happen all the time. I just saw an article, somebody's complaining about how Mark Ruffalo is supposed to show up in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And they're like, oh, Punisher's always there. They're doing all these villains already. What's the big deal? I'm like, you know how long we've been waiting for a Hulk versus Spider-Man? We've never seen the Hulk and Spider-Man. I don't even know if they've been on the same screen, even in Endgame or Infinity War.
No, I don't think so.
Well, no, because unless they were in the fight with Thanos at the Endgame in the same frame, Hulk was already hurt, and Peter got snapped back.
I think the only time we might see him on the same screen is
Tony's funeral. Or Tony's death scene.
But in the portal scene where they're just panning across, you might see them together,
but not them interacting at all. And the Hulk and Spider-Man have interacted. I mean, they used to get in big fights with Hulk, a big dumb green monster, which he isn't in the MCU anymore. But like, I hope he should. I hope he's there for 5 minutes, even just as Banner.
I hope
Mark Ruffalo is awesome,
dude. I want to see John Bernthal.
I'm waiting for Bernthal's Punisher. Did you get that? Did I send you that reel at TikTok? You ever see the ones I sent you? The guys pretending to be a Kingpin.
Oh my god, yeah.
This guy's doing Punisher stuff now.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, day one on the set with, he's like, yo, Pete, John, it's just Peter, and he's like, what? And he keeps asking him, you see it? At the end, he's like, Webhead. He's like, John, it's just Peter. He's like, woo, woo, woo. He's like, yeah, whatever you want to do, man. It's so good. He sounds just like.
I love
so
when
good.
he does his Daredevil, and he's just like,
yeah. That's something we didn't touch on either. Born Again, but we'll do that another time. Did you watch it?
Nope.
Oh, then we'll talk when you do watch it. We
I
will.
was gonna say, hold on,
Yeah,
I gotta watch it.
It's damn good.
I was supposed to watch
The
it with
Netflix
Alex,
show
we
was
never
so
did.
good. I mean, and I was so worried Disney would kind of nerf it, and they did. And they went beyond it. It's excellent. Anyway,
But like,
Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Oh man, I want to see them. You know what I'd love to see, honestly? I want to see them make a reference to Spider-Man issue #1, where he meets up with the Fantastic Four in Brand New Day.
Right.
Not that I think it would happen.
I don't think that's going to happen because
No, I don't either.
I don't think they can. But I think if there's even a chance we get Johnny Storm and Peter Parker on the screen together, even for a little while, one of the best friendships in comics.
Yes.
That has never been done on screen, not in live action. Like that'd be super tits.
Oh my God, that would like so. When I think of those two together, my mind always goes to the Spider-Man PlayStation 1 game where there's a cut scene where the two of them are just talking and Peter's just like venting his problems and Johnny's just like, I get it, man, but don't forget, like, you've got friends here, like, have faith. And he just flies away. So I'm like, that's such a cool friendship.
Yeah, it is.
We need that in the movies. Like, we need that in Doomsday. Like, I want the two of them doing something.
Well, we'll see.
I want to see flaming webs. That's what I want to see.
Let's touch on, just for a second, because Brand New Day just started filming like last week, and there's tons of set photos.
Oh,
how good does Tom Holland look in that suit?
That costume.
He looks like,
my God,
finally looks like Spider-Man, not Spider Iron Man.
Yes.
And did you see the stuntman doing the practical swinging yet?
Yes. Legit swinging from building to building, like in the 60s cartoon.
Yeah, dude. And I actually saw a thing that said John Watts, that did the other 3 movies, said you don't want to do that because then it looks like a stunt guy bumbling around. That's why we use CGI to make him acrobatic and be Spider-Man. I would never do practical swinging, and I warned the guy doing the movie. I can't think. It's the guy who did Shang-Chi that's doing this movie.
Yeah.
Which was a fantastic movie too. That I warned him that you don't want to do that, and then everybody's like, "Well, I think he was wrong because those set videos, if they just a little CGI cleanup and add the webs in, that's going to look so good."
Oh my God! I'm so excited.
Right down to Tom Holland. Did you see him meeting the little kid yet?
No, I didn't see
There's
that.
like this little kid. I don't want to say because maybe it's just because he's younger. He looks like he might be a little special needs.
Yeah,
but he's dressed as Spider-Man. Like he loves Spider-Man. He's on because they were letting people be on the side. Tom Holland eventually sees him and comes over and like takes his mask off and shakes his hand, takes a picture with him.
Yeah.
Like this kid's a little dressed in a little Halloween costume. He's with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like
that's cool.
Tom Holland gets it.
That's so cool.
It's going to be so good. I just want to touch on that because I just saw some more photos today and I'm like, I saw that video of the practical swing today. And I'm like, my God, this is going to be super good. But I really love it. I'm glad they're doing another one because Tom Holland didn't need to leave that character.
No.
Like keep him as long as he's wants to do. So
yeah.
Anyway, Fantastic Four, where would you rate it? Unless you got more to say about it.
Oh, no, I'm good. So Fantastic Four, I'm going to give that one like a solid like 7.5 to an 8. Like for 8, I'm leaning more towards an 8 for the sole reason of the details. The details made that so good and enjoyable, and it catered to like to me personally, it catered to like my inner child who grew up with the Fantastic Four, whether it be comics or the cartoons.
Right.
And I was just like, this is, to me, like, this is the Fantastic Four that I always wanted.
Right. And I agree, and I think a lot of people do. I would go a little higher. I think it's probably an 8.2 for the reasons I said. There was some stuff that just didn't deliver for me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the effects. It wasn't the acting by any means. And the characters were great. There was just some stuff that I think the movie moved too fast.
That's fair.
Bam, 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 bam. Like there was not as much time to breathe with those characters, especially with those actors.
Yeah.
They could have done a lot more with some of the stuff. I thought Vanessa Kirby's Sue was awesome.
She was phenomenal as Sue.
She was the star of the movie as far as I'm concerned, as character-wise. I think the Thing was the best thing in the movie.
Yes.
And no pun intended. Like he looked like he was supposed to, and why they couldn't have done that. They didn't. Well, the CGI technology wasn't then with us. I mean, the Michael Chiklis stuff looked okay, but it didn't look like Thing. Nothing. I mean, like the horrendous one in the '90s, the rubber suit. But this looked great, and I'm glad. And whatever was going on Fan Four Stick, that wasn't the thing. That was some kind of naked rock monster. This was definitely the highlight. The highlight visually was definitely the Thing, followed by Galactus.
Yes,
but Sue was definitely the best character and best acted, and they were all great. I didn't think Joseph Quinn was gonna get as much meat to chew on. I thought he'd be hothead Johnny Storm like Chris Evans was, which is what Johnny Storm really always was.
Yeah.
Instead, he was smart and introspective. And
Yeah.
played it well. Everything was. They were all perfect in those characters.
They all
For any
did
doubts
their
I had,
well.
they did. And I think overall the movie really worked. I think Matt Shackman knows how to make a movie. He knows how to make a period piece. He's the guy that did WandaVision, which is amazing.
I love WandaVision.
And I think it's an 8.2. It's not anywhere near the level what Superman was for me. Maybe on a rewatch I'll give it a higher rating, but my initial, been a couple weeks since I saw it, reaction is that's where I think, and I really am upset that it's not doing better, that people want Marvel to do so well, but they won't support it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so I don't know what the average of that would be. You got your phone? You know how to do averages?
No.
Your calculator probably does.
I was just saying. What am I doing? What?
You have an iPhone. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't have a fancy phone like you do.
It's probably going to put us in the upper sevens, but look at us doing professional averaging while we're here on the fly. I mean, you can always just internet it, Jake, but whatever, I got it, buddy. Where was it? What'd you say you were? 7.5?
Yeah, I'll round up and go stick with my 8.
All right, so you're an 8.2. I mean, I believe we divide that by. No, that's not right. Is it times? But I don't know. Well, we're roughly going to end up probably. Well, basically, that's going to put us probably on average at 8.1 or so. So, I mean, that's an excellent rating for two guys who don't review movies and have never rated anything before. I mean, I think we have a great scale going here. So, I mean, I would recommend seeing it when it does. If you can't see it in the theater, definitely watch it when it hits, home video, Disney Plus. Definitely worth a rewatch, and I think I'm going to find a lot more to like out of it, and I'm sure you will when you go next week. You'll be able to see things that you missed.
Yeah.
Now, when I watch the second time, I tend to look for Easter eggs, but I also want to take the movie in better. I'll do that with Superman too. I want to be able to take it in. So, and with all the stuff I know about it now, I just want to be able to
kind of take it all in.
So maybe we'll talk about it again after we've rewatched both these movies at some point.
Yeah, we'll do a half episode. It's just the movies revisited.
Yeah, it works for me. So that was our hot takes a month too late on Superman and Fantastic Four First Steps. So we're back at it, folks. We're here.
We're caught up.
The show didn't die, so we'll keep it going. Another episode will be coming soon. We got other things to talk about, and as always, we appreciate those who listen, and you guys can share and check out our YouTube and like, subscribe, all that. Nailed It, the podcast on socials, and we'll try and be better. We'll try not to let summer take us down and do a little bit more posting and whatnot. I might starting to do some clips for our shows too to put up on TikTok and stuff. So that's it for our comic book movie review. So as always, I am your super heroic friend Bob.
I am the fantastic Jake.
And we are Nailed It, the podcast.
podcast.
We'll see you guys later.
See you.
Nailed It.